Well, welcome. Thank you all for coming this afternoon.
Oh, okay,
We
good.
can kind of draw our attention this way. We have a short program, a very exciting program, the most beautiful place in Prescott as far as I'm concerned, the Yavapai College Sculpture Garden. I want to give you just a little bit of history, and then I'll pass it on to Dr. Wills and then to Ernie Jones, and I think Ray then will actually do the unveiling. But I want to give you a little history, first of all, of the Friends of Yavapai College Art Gallery. That was a group that started about 30 years ago as an auxiliary of the foundation, and that was before the Performing Arts Center was even built. But they had the foresight and they had the interest to support, begin supporting the arts at Yavapai College. 20 years ago, that group kind of morphed into the Friends of Yavapai College Art. And after the Performing Arts Center was built, in addition to the work with the art gallery and a goal to provide scholarships for art students, their dream was to build this beautiful contemporary sculpture garden, the only one of its kind on a college campus in America, right here on this campus. And throughout the past 2 decades, the Friends of Yavapai College of Art have led the development of 4 construction phases, the last of which, phase 4, we are dedicating here today. But the Friends of Art are not finished, even though it's as far as the eye can see almost in every direction, and 4 phases have been completed. There are still 2 more phases, at least that we know of, that the Friends will be working on throughout the years. One of them is this beautiful riparian area below, and that will have a little different flavor. The theme is not certain at this point, but certainly some interpretation of native plant species. And then on the other side of the ravine, going up to Rush Street, that will yet be another phase that will include contemporary sculptures and walkways and so on. And over the years, the Friends of Art have raised tens of thousands of dollars to build this through outright gifts from generous donors like all of you. I look around, I see many generous Friends of Art donors, but also through their programs to sell naming opportunities for these beautiful benches, these trees, and the bricks that are up on the upper patio and behind us here. And I think, that adds so much to the garden to see these names of families that are important to college, donors that have been a part of 20 years of development of the Yavapai College Sculpture Garden. A very important partner with the Friends of Art, and of course, I'm not surprised that I don't see him here, but a very important partner has been the Facilities Department at Yavapai College, and specifically the ground supervisor, Mike Curvin. Many of you know Mike. Mike's genius with landscape design is not only evident here in the sculpture garden, but on every Yavapai College campus throughout Yavapai County. He's absolutely the master. He has a wonderful crew. They have been so helpful with the boards of the Friends of Art over many years. I'm sorry he's not here. He's probably working on landscaping somewhere on the Prescott campus. I want to introduce some of the leaders of the Friends of Art that have been part of this program over many years. I want to focus specifically on people that have served as president of the Friends of Yavapai College Art. And I guess I will start with Joe Berger, who is our former Director of Facilities here at Yavapai College, retired, was also Friends of Yavapai College Art, and a key leader in developing a number of the early phases and raising a lot of money. And with her, Dr. Ed Berger, former vice president of the Yavapai College Foundation, also a president of Friends of Art, who was instrumental in phases 3 and also the beginning parts of phase 4. I'd like to introduce Ray Wagasback, who has served how many terms? 4 terms as president of Friends of Art and done a great job. And our current president, his wife and an excellent leader in the arts at Yavapai College, Cam Wagasback. The Yavapai Prescott tribe made the major gift that enabled the Friends of Art to build this beautiful phase 4 of the garden. I think many of you know that it's not just the arts that the Yavapai Prescott Indian tribe has supported over many years. It's athletics, it's the Deli Webb Family Enrichment Center, it's scholarships, it's Yavapai College, period. Beyond even their financial support, Yavapai College exists right here because of the leadership that the Yavapai Prescott Indian tribe showed with the federal government almost 50 years ago. And you'll hear more about that in just a minute.
What we do today is going to shape 7 generations forward. Yavapai College, I think, is just the essence of that. We look back and see, and as Steve said, this was their land. Well, good luck, Steve. This was the Yavapai Prescott tribe. And it's about place. And for them to offer this to the college, we take it very, very, very seriously and are indebted to you forever. I am so honored to have you here. And President Jones, if you would come forward and share with us just your insights into this. Thank you.
The Yavapai are proud and brave people who once ranged over a vast territory of some 20,000 square miles. The Yavapai traveled from the confluence of the Gila and the Colorado River to the lofty Bradshaw, Mingus, and Mazatol Mountains. The present-day orientation boundaries would include Prescott, bounded roughly by Yuma to Parker, and as a crow flies to Flagstaff, south to Superior, and a half-circle to Yuma. The Yavapai were a hunting and gathering people who moved seasonally from one area to another. Their ability to adapt to a variety of climatic conditions is evidenced by their differences of the elevation and the territory they occupied. The Yavapai were able to exploit their habitat from the 200-foot elevation of a blistering desert to the 8,000 feet level of the shady mountain streams. The Yavapai at one time had 4 subgroups. The western, which is Tolkapaya, existed just west of where we are, all the way to the Colorado River. Yahpeh, which this land is it's Yahpeh, and Yahpeh to me means the people. Whereas Tolkapaya, there's always these oaks. They have the little puff balls. We call them Tolkas. So that tribe always had a greeting, I imagine, of the Tolkapayas, and then they'd always pop them when they met. And then northeastern is the Wipukpas, and that's people below the mountain. And I'm pretty sure they're referring to Mingus Mountain because they were located in the Verde Valley, and supposedly the birthplace of our tribe was Sedona and the Montezuma Well. And the western group, like I was talking about, the Tolkapayas, they may have integrated with the Colorado River tribes because at one time we were all one big human stock. A lot of people always thought that we were Apache and of the Athabascan stock, but we're not. We're from the human tribe. And they existed along the Colorado River, and they migrated up with our with the Pie Group as we call them. We extended this way, we came east. The Hualapai went north with the Sioux Pies, and the Yavapai group came down this way, and we dispersed here. And this is, you know, in time immemorial. Early meetings with the Yavapai and the Europeans appeared to have been peaceful. The Yavapai first discovered the Spanish crossing their territory in 1583. At that time, they showed the leader of the expedition, Antonio de Esposa, some of their mines near present-day Jerome. In the Verde Valley, the Yavapai discovered a Spaniard named Farfan exploring in 1598. In 1604, the Yavapai met Donate, another Spaniard returning from a visit to the Hopi. For the next 250 years, there is no record of further exploration. And the reason for the Spaniards, you know, exploring the Southwest was that they were in search of gold and silver. And the Yavapai, thinking that they were interested in copper, showed them that the mines that existed at modern-day Jerome. And like I say, after the next 250 years after 1604, there was no contact. And then the initial contact with the Anglo trappers may have been in the 1820s. Mining thereafter brought many people into the Prescott vicinity in 1863. By 1865, there were 1,500 Americans farming, ranching, and prospecting in the region. Tensions arose between the Anglos and the Indians as they invaded more and more into Yavapai territory. Fort Whipple was established in 1864 in an effort to control these confrontations, as well as another camp at Day Creek, which is known as Camp Day Creek, an Army outpost located south of present-day Hillside, Arizona. Another one was located in Verde Valley, Fort Verde, and another at Fort McDowell, which today is next to Fountain Hills. In 1873, the Yavapai were forced to move to San Carlos Agency. This was a very difficult period for the Yavapai people. Over the years, Yavapais at San Carlos slowly left San Carlos and moved back to their respective areas. Finally, on June 7, 1935, the government allocated 75 acres of land to the Yavapais located in the Prescott area, which is the current residential area of the reservation. In 1956, the tribe received an additional 1,327 acres of land, which surrounds, you know, present-day Prescott, all to the north and to the east, and that consists of our present reservation here. And the reason, you know, we camped so close to Fort Whipple was that, you know, for protection from the settlers. You know, we lost all of our culture, our tradition, because, you know, like, you know, I have served in the military in Vietnam, incidentally, in 1966, and over there, you know, the military, when they get aggressive, and they go right to the main, how would you say, the beehive of the territorial people. And back in the day, the central Yavapai County was the main place where all the Yavapais existed. And so, you know, that's why, you know, this land is so beautiful. Just like the president was saying, it's always really beautiful. And you know, that's why we moved back to San Carlos. We wouldn't want to be nowhere else. Okay, and then to continue, like I said, we were recognized as a tribe on June 7, 1935, with 75 acres. Then prior to this, in 1933, through the assistance of prominent citizens of Prescott, the tribe built a community building, and later the same year, the same citizens assisted the building of 5 stone houses on 75 acres with contributions from the city of Prescott. And, you know, I could name some of the people. It was Gladys Gardner, Charlotte Hall, and Jerry Wagner was in the 50s, but, you know, 20 years before this were these ladies. And Gladys Gardner was the other one, and also we had congressmen who really assisted with making this a reservation. And in the early 60s, Fort Whipple, which is now known as Veterans Administration, had a surplus of land. And the Yavapai Prescott tribe was given an opportunity to obtaining that land. A request was brought about by the Arizona State Board of Directors of Junior Colleges, who requested that the land be given to them for the building of a junior college. The tribe was also interested in the development of education in that day and time, because, you know, like I say, when we were first here in the 20s and 30s, you know, the only jobs that the men could do was working in the mines, and you know this is a sad thing too, because like I said, we lost all our tradition, all our culture. But then what really remains is the storytellings that we tell of you know, of what had occurred. And then, you know, it's just like I always elaborate to our tribal members. You know, like my wife Janet and I, you know, she's a Yavapai. And the only difference is her mother came from Yavapai Prescott, and her father was a Yavapai from Fort McDowell, the Cuecapaya tribe. But we're all one, we're all Yavapai. And then, more unique than that, you know, like my father, he was from here. He was Yavapai Prescott. And my mother was located down there around the Mayor, Crown King area. And you know, that was a Yavapai too. And I always elaborate, and they always used to tell me, although a lot of people say, you know, it's not factual, but the powwows we used to have gatherings. The four tribes came together in the summer. And in our area where the fairgrounds is, that was our powwow area. And that's where, you know, they had the sweats, and they had, you know, all the old-time gatherings, the tales, the stories of what went on. And also to Granite Mountain. Granite Mountain is our spiritual mountain, and it is very dear to the Yavapai, especially those that live in the Prescott area. And, you know, we actually believe that we're guided by the spirits who dwell in that mountain. And, you know, this story goes, you know, way back. And then they said they communicated with the Yavapais here. But getting back to my story, you know, when we were first in line, you know, and we thought, what are we going to do with our children? What are we going to do for them? You know, and like I say, I was in Vietnam then, and then, you know, they decided, you know, we need to educate them. We need to educate our children. And then sure enough, you know, here comes the Arizona State Board of Directors of Junior Colleges that said, you know, let us get in front of you and you take a step back. So the Board of Directors had a meeting back then, you know, they were called the Tribal Council. And they talked about it, and then so they passed it. And you know, I had the actual documents of it. And so both parties agreed to this, and this was done on March 31st, 1967 by a vote of 4-0. You know, our tribe consists of 5 board members, 4 which are council and 1 which is the president. So, you know, this was unanimous, and then, you know, and this is the truth of what our ancestors did, our grandfathers, our grandmothers. And with that, you know, the saying is true that the tribe unknowingly looks 7 generations ahead. And with that, you know, I really appreciate what our tribe has done for the tribe and what you have done for our tribe. You know, because, you know, without this, you know, it's, yeah, you know, our tribe, you know, wouldn't start the next steps to education. And then now what's coming down the pike is, you know, in our native traditions, is that, you know, these that finish high school, they try to go to the 4-year college, but they're so, you know, not used to going to a university with all these things. And then I understand that some of the natives are telling their children, go to a junior college, learn that before you learn the white man ways by steps. Because a lot of these Native Americans come from Navajo, you know, they're a third world country, and they come, you know, and then it's hard to give up your tradition. You know, and then you see it nowadays where some of our high school students, college students, they graduate with their traditional dress. And with that, you know, with the garden, you know, there's just walking in, I was just telling my family, you know, the trees that are on here, you know, like there's a chocatasala, and that's an alligator bark juniper. I noticed that. I noticed a churca, and that's an Arizona walnut. And there's a manat, you know, that's a banana yucca. And these were all foods that are Yavapais used to eat a long time ago. Capila is another one. And the chesa, it's a cat claw. You know, we use it in our baskets. We make our baskets, it has that black color to it. But then we use that also as a food, the seeds that come with it. And then the halaka, that's I got it mixed up. That's a devil's claw. And the devil's claw is the one that we eat the seeds of. Sorry for that. And then there's this last one, which is chimpoop. That's manzanita. The little berries on it. Even when I used to go hunting with my dad, he always used to say, you know, grab some, eat some later. And same with the juniper. They had the little, you know, the little berries on them. And you know them too as the skunk berry. Skunk berry was very delicious with us. We used to get it, smash it up, and you know, and then they always had the baskets, and they did that, and then with the remnants, you know, they made a juice out of it. And that was really good. And the saguaro cactus, you'll notice in May and June, they grow on top of the saguaros. They used to make the long stick, and they always ask, how did the old people used to make the sticks? And it was from the ribs of the saguaro, you know, how long they are. And if they weren't like that, they would join them together and put a little hook on it, and then that's the way they pull them off. And then that was another staple item. And then it's just like, you know, I'm sure some of you used to know Mr. Ted Vaughn. Me and him always used to talk all the time, and he always used to ask me how to say certain words and this and that. And he always used to say, "You have a different dialect." And I said, "Yes." And I said, "Yeah, I know I do, because I learned my Yavapai language from my grandparents, from my father, from my mother, from my grandmother. And me and Janet, every once in a while, you know, we talk Yavapai in our house. And then my kids look at us and they say, "What are you guys saying? Are you talking about us?" but yet, you know, that's a tradition that, you know, they just can't take away from us. It's a language that we know and we speak. And then, you know, I'm trying to bring that back. And you know, with that being said, and like I say, you know, this junior college, this started me, you know, in my career. Like when I was elected to the board of directors back in '72, a year later, the chairman was saying, you know, we have a grant for a police officer. We want you to be a policeman. I said, no, I don't want to do that, because I was working with the Forest Service, and I like that job better. But anyway, they, you know, she coaxed me out of it, and then you know, we had the certification, state certification, and then so back then Al Ayers was a sheriff. And he knew the president, Pat McGee, quite well, and he said, "Sure, we'll sponsor him free. Well, you know, he can come to school, and then if he passes, you know, he passes." And he said, you know, but I think it's pretty hard. But anyway, the Bureau was just starting up certifying their state, you know, taking the state tests and stuff. And and then lo and behold, I passed that with an 85 average. And then, you know, I always contribute that to my parents and my grandparents, because they say your culture is changing. We are changing. You need to look to the future. You need to get an education, and that's what we always tell our kids. And this is one of the very best opportunities I know of in the state of Arizona for Native Americans to get their education, especially being called Yavapai College, and that's really good for us. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ernie. I always learn so much when you share with us. Now I would like to ask Ray Wagaspat to unveil the plaque that is dedicated to the Yavapai Prescott Indian tribe, which is beautiful and designed. And it says, Phase 4 of the Yavapai College Sculpture Garden is dedicated in honor of the Yavapai Prescott Indian tribe. The tribe was instrumental in establishing Yavapai College on this land in Prescott in 1966. Since that time, the tribe has been a generous donor, business partner, neighbor, and friend. So again, thank you so much. Thank you all for coming. Please take time to walk around, look at phase 4, look at the other 3 phases of the garden, and enjoy this beautiful afternoon in Prescott. Thanks again.